Good afternoon there, people, and welcome to Rockingham Speedway out here in North Carolina, the site of round number 14 of Season 2 for the Speed Racing Series. We're getting down to the closing portion of the season, just 3 races to go. If you're involved in our Discord server, you would have seen plenty of silly season moves already being made between many drivers and teams in preparation for next season. We'll get to talk about some of those changes throughout today's race, but we got to talk about the championship battle. 12 drivers enter this race, still mathematically eligible to compete for the championship in Atlanta. Vince Friese, Charles Sanford, Nick Pericles, and Luke Martin are the 4 main favorites for now, but the other 8 drivers got to hope for something big to happen against them for them to still have a viable chance. Anyway, we have 150 laps ahead of us here at the Rock. Who do you think will stand on top of the Rock when it's all said and done? Come on down, as we'll be taking the green flag shortly. Another sunny and perfect day is upon us for some more Speed Racing Series action. Leading us to the green flag is Zachary DeLello for his second career pole. Title contenders Luke Martin and Charles Sanford starting second and third. Your point leader Vince Friese starting back there in 11th. Can they all have drama-free days, or will any of them get bitten by trouble? Let's get round number 14 started. Here we go for 150 laps of battle at Rockingham. The North Carolina boy himself, DeLello, he gets the lead lap 1 over Martin. James Ellison in the number 3 Chevy down to the inside, making his presence known. Martin to the inside of DeLello. He knows that if he can get by him, wow, as Major Robinson and he nearly make contact. He knows if he can get around this number 15 car, he can get himself another bonus point for getting 1 lap led. And the longer DeLello leads, that's even more points that Martin's losing out on, because you each get a point for leading the most laps too. But this is DeLello's home state race. He's got a lot of loyal hometown support from his fans and family members that are here, and he definitely doesn't want to let them down. And he's already shining brightly out in the lead. 3 wide behind him for third. Robinson over Zachary Bilson and Aiden Smith. Down here in the 68, Smith was the pole sitter here last season. He's going to settle in 5th behind Bilson, but not before Sanford has anything to say about that. Sanford, if you remember him last season, he got swept up in an early crash that caused him to lose valuable ground in the points and probably cost him the championship. So he's making sure that thing doesn't repeat today. Bilson on to Robinson for third. We'll get back to those guys in a second. Here's Kyle Collins competing in the top 10. The 66 of Yoshiko Sakamoto. She's a solid racer on the short tracks herself. James Ellison down to her inside. Rounding out the top 10 is the 38 of your Chicagoland winner, RJ Bishop. Just outside the top 10, here's Jesse Turner, who qualified 5th in the Lake Effect Autosport entry, so that was a real confidence booster for him. But 11th is where he's settled in so far. There's Logan Cloud and Scott Roush side by side. Cloud finished 9th in his debut at Nashville. A real solid first start by him, so today is start number 2 for the Michigan driver. Joseph Srigley, your Michigan winner, in 14th. Zachary Fitzwater, he qualified decently in the top 15 himself, racing ahead of Noah Hart and also your point leader, Vince Friese, who crossed the line in 17th that time. Of course, we're only on lap 7 of the race. Friese knows he has a boatload of time to advance his way up to Martin and Sanford. Same thing goes with his teammate Nick Pericles, trying to break into the top 20. Even though their qualifying efforts weren't the best, they each know that if they stay patient and they just do their jobs, they'll catch Martin and Sanford and maybe have a chance to overtake them at some point. Oh, hang on out of turn 4. Pericles gets pushed all the way down into the grass. Oh, this doesn't look good, people. Can he slow his car down? No! Shantley Daniel in the 10 car clobbers him. And here they go, wrecking in 1. Another hard slam by the 34 of Sabre Fox. Lee Smith also involved. Shantley Daniel destroyed in that number 10 Dodge. I think Nick Breeden got a piece in the 00 as well. Pace car immediately onto the racetrack. And just 9 laps in, your 3rd place points man, Nick Pericles, already a part of a big-time melee. Well, that was the one thing Nick Pericles was hoping to avoid, but unfortunately, it's happened to him right here. He goes 3 wide underneath Lucas Gaetano and Neil Cook. And coming out of 4, Cook's going to get into the wall. He bounces down into Katana, who then ping-pongs into Pericles. And soon that 31's going to come up directly in front of the 10 car. Wham! The 31 even goes on 2 wheels for a second, but the wreck is on. Saber Fox gives Pericles a hard shot in the passenger side. And how much worse can it get for that 34 team? Oh, as Diego Yepes comes along and hits the 34 at the very end. But when will the bleeding ever stop for Furry Row Motorsports? That's back-to-back weeks with the wreck that they've now had. Unfortunately, that's mostly been the story of their season, but hopefully that team can have a better outcome at Talladega and Atlanta if they choose to compete there. Here's what that crash looked like from the onboard of Nick Pericles. A negative moment on his season for sure. You folks are not going to believe how Anthony McClure got through this pileup without a scratch. Watch this. Everyone on the lead lap pitted for fresh tires and fuel under this yellow flag. Even though we are still early in the going, I don't think that's a bad call to make. Your top 5 is DeLello, Sanford, Robinson, Collins, and Aiden Smith. Hopefully the field can go a lot longer without any more incidents breaking out. Back to green here at the Rock on lap 14. Robinson in the 84, down underneath Sanford in the 16, going into 3. Your winner at Indy, trying to challenge the 3-time winner per position, but that's not going to work for now. Robinson in position to have a real strong weekend underneath him, and Sanford to the inside of DeLello. Nobody's been able to steal the lead from DeLello since the drop of the green flag. And now what's Robinson going to do? Looks like he's going to leave that open line on the outside left by Sanford, and the 84 is going to go up to the outside. Will he have enough room to take second? Looks like he will. I'm thinking that the inside line here isn't as beneficial as it is at other racetracks. Maybe the outside line is the place you want to be to make moves and make passes. And Robinson overtaking Sanford is a clear-cut proof of that. And also Kyle Collins in the 19, he's going to overtake Sanford. And it looks like DeLello, he'll keep up the strength up top and hold the 84 at bay. DeLello leads yet again. I mentioned how there's a silly season developments already going on in the Discord. This 19 car driven by Kyle Collins is one of them. Collins will not be back in this 19 car next season. That's going to be taken over by DJ Curtis, moving over from Starcom Racing into that ride. Right now, Curtis, if I can find him here, running 26 right now. So that's one piece of the silly season news that is broken out. Major Robinson, he'll be staying with Sanders Performance Auto Racing. Of course, his win at Indy was a good sign for him to stay there, as Sanford's going to make the pass on him again. Aiden Smith, he's going to remain at Nova Sport. Zachary Bilson, not quite sure if he's going to come back to this 13 yet, but he's going to try and still remain in the top 10 and get himself a good case for next season. Logan Cloud will not be coming to the 24 next season. That'll now be held by Harrison Riley for Season 3. Right now driving that 12 car following Turner in the corner. But Riley will not return to this number 12 car, which he's been in for every race that he's made in the Speed Racing Series. And that's going to be his future ride, that 24 Chevy for S3 Motorsports. Here's Smith out of turn 4, setting himself up to make a pass on DeLello for the lead. The Toyota of DeLello versus the Ford of Smith. You can give the edge to DeLello as Smith doesn't have enough power to pass him. Martin is now going to inherit second after Smith leaves the outside line open. And there goes Martin to the inside of DeLello, but I think that move is going to be futile, as DeLello wisely sails his way around the outside and keeps the lead. And information like that is very vital for a spotter to know. He's going to tell his driver of Zachary DeLello, hey, don't let these guys try and pass you on the outside. Keep them to the bottom, and you'll hold this lead. And that's exactly what DeLello is doing. Diego Yepes in the 77 is going to get eaten up by these leaders real soon. Here comes DeLello and the rest of the lead pack on by. DeLello, the last car running on the track in 33rd. His car is already wounded enough, but it's only been 16 laps since the restart, and he's already fallen 1 lap off the pace, so he's in for a rough day for another 120 laps ahead of him. More of the leaders going by Yepes. Turner going through the middle in the 94. Oh, Yepes taps the wall, actually, and he's going to bottleneck Srigley up and cost him a little bit of speed on poor Logan Cloud in the 24. He's definitely going to fall outside the top 10 with that situation. And I guarantee that will not be the last time they'll have to encounter that 77. There's the 3 Joseph Srigley Racing Chevys running together on the track, battling for 10th, which is held by Sakamoto for now. But while we're focused in on these 3, as well as James Ellison, let's talk about their silly season plans for Season 3. So for that team, Sakamoto will stay in the 66, Sanford will stay in the 16, and James Ellison will become a 4th driver for the team, piloting the resurrected number 61 Chevy. And as for Srigley, he will not be back in this number 11 car. Instead, Lucas Catano will depart the number 20 car from Martin Motorsports and head to JSR driving that 11 machine. So Catano will indeed leave the team that he won 2 races with last season and on to greener pastures for a new team and a new manufacturer. And right now it's unconfirmed what Srigley will do himself for his own driving plans next season, but maybe more information will come in the near future as to what he'll be doing. Scott Roush, he's of course staying with the Rambler Racing team. Logan Cloud, his plans are not set in stone yet. Jacob Beholtz in 16th place. He will be returning to this 03 Chevy for S3 Motorsports next season. He and Zayden Davidson both signed a contract extension with the team. They'll both get to keep their numbers and continue to be teammates. Here's your Watkins Glen winner, Zachary Fitzwater, who will be departing Nova Sport after this season, moving over to Rambler Racing, taking over what is basically Nick Pericles' spot on the team. I wasn't able to bring that up earlier because Pericles wrecked, but Pericles will not be back. Rambler Racing's lineup is set with Fitzwater in the 7 car, Freeze in the 21, Bishop in the 38, and Scott Roush in the 50. So that's Rambler's plans. Christian Vargas in the 81, he'll stay in that car with Spa. And as said before, Catano moving over to JSR from Martin Motorsports. Shade Eves has also come forth to say what his racing plans will be for Season 3. He will be leaving this 83 ride at Nova Sport to form his own team of New Shade Industries. He'll be fielding his own number 47 Toyota full-time beginning at Daytona, so Eves will be giving team ownership a try. And with Nova Sport in mind, it's also been learned that Ryan Griffin will be making his Speed Racing Series comeback. We all thought he was permanently done with the series after Michigan, but Griffin will be filling one of the vacancies at Nova Sport, going with the number 25 for his Season 3 ride. So Ryan Griffin and Aiden Smith will be at least 2 teammates with each other at Nova Sport, while Shade Eves will be flying solo. Up to the leaders again, it's a pole position racing 1-2 at Rockingham. DeLello in command, Harrison Riley right behind him, and they got Dylan Young in the 07 right ahead. Where's the 2 of them going to go? DeLello up top, Riley on the bottom, and poor Dylan Young, he can just do what he can in order to not be a nuisance, but there's only so much room on the racetrack to go, and I think the bottom is going to be the right choice. Harrison Riley clears the 15. DeLello is going to follow him through on the low side of 3 and 4, and Harrison Riley on lap 47, he will now be your new leader in that Hot Wheels Toyota. Aiden Smith's going to get stuck behind the 07. Luke Martin going to shoot down low. Try and clear that 68. As Riley pulls away, Dylan Young, he's also got silly season plans of his own. He'll be joining the Spa team as a 4th car. So he will be ditching Monster Motorsports in favor of them, but Young also looking for better horizons himself and still getting a top 10 finish to his career. Hopefully that move turns out to be a good one, but Young, he's holding up 2nd, 3rd, and 4th while letting Riley get away as he encounters more lap traffic. Oh, trouble! 2 cars spinning out of turn 4. Scott Roush and Coogan Brickachek spinning into the infield grass. And that will more than likely put an end to that long green flag run that we had. And indeed it will. Caution comes out on lap 50 for the 2nd time this afternoon, involving Roush and Brickachek. And there's your leader, Harrison Riley, to the line, and he'll take the caution flag as the leader. The 58 of Brickachek in his first race back since Road America goes a little too high out of turn 4, impacts the wall, then comes down into Roush, and they both go looping around on the Rockingham front stretch. Fortunately, no one else got collected, just a simple, innocent duo spin. They'll both get away fine and come get 4 new tires on this next pit stop cycle. A near catastrophic moment for Jesse Turner while he leaves pit road. He beats Kyle Collins at the pit line for 4th, but as he accelerates on those cold tires, he's going to fishtail right there. And watch how close that is with the butt end of that backstretch wall. And look at all the debris he left behind him at the scene. He's lucky to only hit it with the left side door of that Ford Fusion and not head on. And Turner very nearly just threw his whole race away. But he's still going to remain on the track and take this restart from 4th place. Harrison Riley retains the lead after yellow flag pit stops, followed by Aiden Smith, Luke Martin, Jesse Turner, and Kyle Collins in the top 5. DeLello and Samper had poor pit stops. They're going to be restarting 11th and 13th. But what can this lead pack do now that they've got lap cars down underneath them? Lap 55, and we're back to racing again at the Rock. The 12 and the 68 escaped everyone behind him just fine. Same thing with Martin shooting up in the 3rd, Turner in 4th, Collins in 5th, but behind him, it's just a plague of Hornets, like this one right here. There's Allison in the 3 car going through the middle, trying to evade all of the potential calamity that could be brewing behind him. It is indeed crucial where you go in order to get by this lap traffic and not be a part of anything that could develop. Watch Diego Yepes. He's in a vulnerable spot on the outside. He tags the wall with Brickachek. And I think Glenn Nixon in the 43 was pitting at the same time. Oh, Davidson, he's going below the apron and 1. Oh, my. What a close call. He almost came up and got the 87 of Lane Sanders. But he's fine for the wear as Nixon, an unscheduled pit stop for him in the 43 team. But these restarts sure are crazy as the 7 of McClure spanks the wall on the outside. And I'm starting to wonder if every restart from here on out will be this wild and aggressive. I guess, ladies and gentlemen, you better buckle up and expect the worst, because you never know when danger could strike, and it could happen at any turn. There's DeLello, who led much of the early going in this race, being shown in 14th that time by, more wall contact between Quintano and McClure. DeLello flying way down through the grass in the 15. Neil Cook also with problems in the 71. DeLello back onto the track. Everyone's going to sail around him. So many crazy things happening simultaneously. I don't know how my brain is able to handle all of this. But Cook comes to a stop. Caution is out. The sun is green. The grass is blue. The trees are orange. And I need an ice cream cone. We'll be right back after this. Harrison Riley leads. Thank you for your patience with that, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and the field is racked for this next restart of the afternoon. It was just a tire problem on Neil Cook's 71 that let him come to a stop in 1 and 2. Only Turner, Kitano, and Sakamoto pitted on the lead lap while everyone else stayed out. Hopefully these leaders will keep themselves composed with more lap cars to the bottom. Riley brings the field to the restart, followed by Smith and Martin. Just like that last attempt, the 12, the 68, and the 54 are able to break free as I think the 84 Robinson tagged the wall slightly. But his car looks to be in fair shape. He's still racing in the top 5, so no harm, no foul for the Alabama rookie. It's said that you shouldn't count your chickens before they hatch, but it appears everybody's doing a fair job staying off of each other, and oh boy, they're going 4 wide through turn 4. That can't result in anything good. Robinson in the wall. Mixon spins through the grass. RJ Bishop also down there. Oh, not this again. RJ can't save it. He gets hit by Fitz Freeze. Yepes is involved. Fitzwater Noah Hart slams into Yepes on the inside. DJ Curtis with heavy smoke too. And out comes the pace car once again for another major incident to happen in turn 1. And 2 Rambler cars are swept up in this. A lot of damage to your point leader, Vince Friese, in the 21. The front end of Noah Hart's machine also destroyed. And there's Bishop in the 38, who couldn't save his car after sliding up from the bottom of the track. And we'll definitely have a lot to check out in these replays. Well, folks, when you have to make the leaders weave their way around slower cars on a restart, I honestly can't say I'm surprised that this happened. But as they go 4 wide in turn 4, Robinson creates a ping-pong effect when he bounces off the wall into Breeding, Mixon, and then Bishop. He pretty much does the same thing Pericles did earlier, and poor Vince Friese. Wrong place, wrong time for him. Diego Yepes even catches a little air in the 77 before Noah Hart slams into him hard on the left front. Fitzwater in the 59, a lot of damage on his ride. And then 2 more additional Rambler cars lie wrecked in pieces in turn number 1. Turns out there was a secondary incident that happened right behind the main one. Many drivers you see running the very top of the track. The 83 of Eves is going to hit the wall, causing many drivers to spin out in the process. Christian Vargas, Yoshika Sakamoto, and DJ Curtis gives a shot to Glenn Mixon at the end of the infield grass area. And Sakamoto loses it again going into the corner. But that's how Bishop, Friese, Curtis, and numerous others are going to retire from this event. In one moment, RJ Bishop is running 4th and in position to have a great outing. And the next moment, his race is going to go very wrong. Lucas Gaetano was at the very back of the field before these incidents broke out, but watch him make his way through these and pick up a bunch of free positions. Cleanup is complete down the front stretch and turn 1, although it was lengthy. And sheesh, I just hope the second half of this race for us is a little more forgiving than this first half. First 11 cars on the lead lap stayed out. Everybody from Lane Sanders on down came to pit road. So maybe they're going to take advantage of fresh tires and see how many spots they can get as we take this restart on lap number 71. Riley still in command. Again, Riley, Aiden Smith, and Luke Martin still on par with getting away from all the lap cars that they started on the outside of. Kyle Collins also following suit in the 19, running solidly in the top 5. Same thing goes with Logan Cloud in the 24, making start number 2. Already making a strong case for him to be hired by somebody for next season. So future team owners, if there's any good guy you want to get a hold of, is Nick Breeding bought the wall out of 4. If there's any good candidate that you want in your car for Season 3, Logan Cloud running in 5th place, coming up to the halfway point. He might be the guy for you. Behind Cloud in 6th, here's Joseph Strigley, marching his way up pretty well from his 20th starting position. James Ellison running strong again, using another borrowed JSR chassis just like he did at Nashville when he won the pole and finished runner-up to Scott Roush. Here's Charles Sanford, second in points, and could possibly be first after Vince Friese getting caught up in that calamity in turn 1. This might be Sanford's lucky day, and also Luke Martin's. With Friese and Pericles now out of the picture, this is their golden chance to gain up a lot of ground on the points. Oh, I thought somebody may have went down in the grass for a second. So Sanford needs to keep just doing what he's doing, getting a good top 10 finish in the bag. Maybe he and Luke Martin can maybe gain on the 2 Rambler guys, maybe pass them in points even. But that number 12 Hot Wheels Toyota has been pretty much untouchable since he took the lead away from DeLello on lap 47, and he is your leader at the halfway mark. Jacob Holtz in the 03 has made the biggest gains out of everyone that pitted under that last yellow flag, running 7th right now, stalking Joseph Srigley for position number 6. Lane Sanders also joined Buchholz on pit road. He's attacking Charles Stanford for 8th. Same thing goes with Lucas Catano in 10th, Christian Vargas in 11th. They were also in the pits about 14 laps ago. Even though their tires may only be like 5 or 6 laps fresher than the other 11 cars that didn't pit, I'm sure their pit crews were thinking, what have we got to lose? Let's put 4 new shoes on these cars and see how far we can go with them. Everyone will need to pit at least one more time, but anything to help them get an advantage, so more power to them for trying something different. Buchholz to the inside of Srigley again, but I don't believe that move is going to work. And Logan Cloud a little loose out of turn 2. As that 11 car of Srigley using that handy-dandy outside line, even trying to attack Collins for position, and I think he's going to get it. Srigley with a wise piece of driving, using that outside groove, and into 4th place goes the Canadian. Checking out the 43 of Glenn Mixon, who's right now in the process of getting lapped again by Harrison Riley, running in 25th, the second to last car running in the race overall. But there has been some silly season developments going on with this number 43 car. It's been confirmed by Lake Effect Autosport that Glenn Mixon will not be coming back to this car for Season 3. Instead, it'll be Austin Rogers, a rookie driver out of southeastern Tennessee. He'll get to make a series debut with Lake Effect beginning at Daytona. And as for Mixon, this means he'll have to look for a ride elsewhere. He's got a season best finish of 12th twice, coming at Charlotte and Indy. So maybe for Mixon, if a team owner notices him, he'll be able to keep his driving career going and might see a turnaround in results eventually. Hopefully that's the case. How about this showmanship and teamwork? Logan Cloud and Jacob Buchholz, both from the S3 team. They're running 3rd and 4th, right behind the 2 leaders. I've already noted a couple times of how impressive Cloud's debut was last week at Nashville. And he's certainly backing it up tonight as, Buchholz trying to find room on the outside of Cloud, and he's going to take that 3rd spot away from his fellow rookie teammate. Buchholz trying to do the same thing in the 03. He kind of had an off night at Nashville last time out. He only could get a 24th place finish. But I mentioned before how the 03, he's the highest running car that is on the freshest tires of those in the top 10. Collins and Catano, they're up here. Can't remember if Martin got fresh tires or not. I know Vargas did, Sanders did, Turner. Basically, these 14 cars, they're under a 2.5 second blanket. But still a good run by the 2 S3 boys in particular. Buchholz swinging it way wide on the outside of turn 4, trying to squeeze by the 68, and he's going to move Buchholz up to 2nd in the Dollar General Chevy Impala. And props to Aiden Smith for being gracious enough to know that he was coming and to let him by on the outside. But that 03 is moving. A bull pass he made on Smith right there. And now that we're coming up on lap 100, he's got the 12 car dead ahead, and he's reeled him in. But the question is, what's he going to do to officially make the pass on him? He'll try the low side for now. But that 12 car, he's been solid. He hasn't given up the lead once since the 1/3 mark of this race. But Buchholz, he's only got a handful of starts to his name. Could today potentially be the day for his first ever win? Here he goes again on the top side of the track, trying to make the same move on Riley as he did on Smith, and look at him fly on by that 12 car. New leader at Rockingham is Jacob Buchholz. An impressive showing of driving today as he leads the first lap out of what I assume is going to be several here in the next few laps. And also lost in the echo, Lucas Catano's made his way up to 3rd. Robinson in 4th, and there's Turner in 6th trying to take away 5th from Aiden Smith. So a lot of those guys that pitted under that yellow, they're really reaping those benefits now. And then on the flip side, out of the top 10, here's Charles Sanford, one of the drivers who stayed out, trying to hold on to 14th against Scott Roush. Then again, every one of these drivers does have to pit at least one more time. Maybe they're banking on maybe doing an undercut strategy at some point, perhaps. Still a great pass on the lead by Beholtz now. We'll see how quickly he can pull away from everyone. Have a look at this. The 16 of Sanford coming onto pit road at the beginning of lap 108. I suppose his team must have overheard me talking about them trying out an undercut strategy, so I guess that's what they're doing. Anyone else joining him onto pit road? The 35 of Davidson. I guess he's doing the same strategy himself in the 35. So both Sanford and Davidson, they're really banking on this race to stay green now. A caution would definitely be their worst nightmare at this point. So this will be a bold call. Maybe we'll see how far this gets them. The 03 has gotten around the 58 okay, but it looks like second, third, and fourth aren't having as smooth of a time doing the same thing. Now here comes Beholtz as Sanford pulling out of the pits. He's putting Anthony McClure and Nick Greening additional laps down. But now that Sanford's out of the pits and on fresh rubber again, he's only 19th, one lap down, which is pretty lucky considering how short this track is. Well, now 20th as he goes across the line again. But you see how much faster he's able to get through and out of the corners compared to these other guys on older tires. Along with Davidson, too. He's 24th. He wasn't able to be as quick on pit road as Sanford's team was. So I suppose other teams, it would be smart for them to take note of what the 16 team is doing. They should maybe come to pit road early and kind of be on the same page and maybe stay ahead of Sanford. That way, they'll have a better likelihood of them not getting passed by the 16. Many of your top 10 contenders still caught in the middle of this swarm of lap cars, including 5th place Aiden Smith. And he's going to try the high line and scoot on by on the top. He better be careful though. Oh, he slams the wall. And lucky to not lose control of the car even more, but Smith with a good-sized wall impact. You see the right side damage that he's got on his Ford Fusion. Like, that's the epitome of good news, bad news. Bad news is you got some damage to the right side of your car, but the good news is at least you're away from all the lap cars behind you. And more 3-wide action. The 58 of Paya, Brickett check. He makes wall contact. A little contact with the 84. I think someone may have went in the pits. Yes, several drivers pitting. 3rd place, Harrison Riley, Logan Cloud, and Joseph Srigley, and also Zachary DeLello, your pole sitter. And of course, Charles Sanford, he is going to stay out. So I think many of these teams here, they're following Sanford's suit, and they're going to try that same plan. Even more drivers electing to pit here. Lucas Catano in the 20. He's going to give up second to pit. Same thing with Aiden Smith, who was 3rd before this. And also James Ellison and Nick Greening right there too. So more and more drivers are having their hands forced thanks to that 16 team. And they are now taking tires and fuel in order to match their beat. You can add Major Robinson and Luke Martin to the mix. They're now pitting for fresh tires and just enough fuel to get them to the finish with about 32 laps to go. But as you see on the leaderboard, your leader of Beholtz, he stayed out this whole time. So they're really playing a risky game. I'm sure he, Turner, Sanders, and Roush, possibly Vargas and Eves too, they are really hoping that a caution comes out. That way they can trap as many of their competitors off the lead lap. Because we only have 9 lead lap cars for the moment. But it's a good game of counter strategy that we're getting to see unfold before our very eyes. Christian Vargas and Shade Eves are now on pit road. They're tired of waiting. And away goes the 81 and the 83 from their pit boxes. They'll more than likely go a lap down due to this. And it appears after that's all said and done, we'll just have 4 cars on the lead lap with Beholtz, Turner, Sanders, and Roush. There's Sanders and Roush in the camera view right there, 3rd and 4th. But you can clearly see how much faster that 16 car is. He just passed that 87 and 50 like they were standing still. Sanford may be sitting in the catbird seat here if this thing goes green until the checkered flag. They definitely have guts coming in as early as they did, but I'd say the other 4 lead lap cars even have bigger guts. There's Turner, and then Beholtz. Just up ahead on the backstretch. That's all the distance that Sanford has to make up to get back on the lead lap. The 16 has dramatically reeled into 0-3, and based on how fast he's run him down, I think he might be able to unlap himself this lap, and it looks like he will. Look at that 16 zoom around the outside of Beholtz, and quickly ascends back onto the lead lap. Goes that McDonald's Chevy, and that 16 is gone ahead of Jacob Beholtz. I'm sure that was also a sight for Nathan Orman to see in the 17. He's running pretty decently in 22nd. But now that Samper has unlapped himself, will 25 laps be enough time? Can Samper do the unthinkable and make up a full lap under green and possibly be in contention for this win still? Oh, trouble! Around goes the 58 of Brickachek, spinning down the middle of the front straightaway. And that's got to be a yellow flag, no doubt. And indeed it is. Pace car lights are flashing. Caution comes out again for the 58 of Coogan Brickachek. The bad boy Mowers Chevy gets going again. But man, what a game-changing moment this is going to be, folks. And Brickachek and Sanford hit the wall. I think that may have been in reaction to the pace car coming out. But this will change everything for sure, people. This is the exact thing that those 4 leaders were hoping for. And with looks like only 9 cars on the lead lap, potentially for this next restart, they have just been rewarded a big-time gift. Let's see how the 58 got spun. It's the second spin that Coogan Brickachek has been involved in today, and here's how it started. He tried to cut across the 13 of Bilson, but just never had enough time to be completely clear. Bilson was already there, from my viewpoint. But Brickachek is still going to keep going, and at least a top 25 finish is more likely in the cards despite this happening. Like I documented before, Beholtz, Turner, Sanders, and Roush all got their wishes granted with that caution coming out. And they're the only 4 people on pit road. No one else to interfere with them. There's Turner about to pull away. There's Sanders, and this is also big for Roush in particular, going for back-to-back wins, or he'll at least try to. But with nobody else coming down pit road with them, I believe those 4 drivers might have a little bit of magic up their sleeves. And we'll see what kind of things they can do in the final 15 or 16 or so laps when we go back green. Oh, what's going on here? They're wrecking under yellow. Robinson, Sakamoto, and many others wrecking out of 4. Sakamoto with a lot of damage on her 66. Aiden Smith, he's got both front and rear end damage. And that's a shame for all those guys. They had great days going. Yeah, Sakamoto going to the apron. She's probably heading straight for the pits to get that thing hopefully fixed. That was totally bizarre. Something radical had to happen in turn 4 to send them all wrecking like that. Lots of confusion here under caution at Rockingham to start that wreck. You see the leader, Jacob Beholtz, in the yellow car way in the back. He's the real leader. And the SRS officials are trying to wave on by some of the cars on the tail end of the lead lap, like Luke Martin and Zayden Davidson. They get the message. Robinson in the 84, he kind of gets the message, but he kind of plateaus his speed. DeLello goes by, and oh, it was Christian Vargas running into the back of his own teammate and spinning him around. And check out everybody just accordion in. Kyle Collins got a piece, Shade Eves, and also Joseph Strigley too, in addition to Smith, Robinson, and Sakamoto. Sakamoto definitely got the worst of that one for sure. Definitely the kind of thing you don't see happen every day. And Sakamoto actually took her 66 Chevy behind the wall. She is done for the day because of the damage she sustained over there. So what a bitter end to what could have been a very decent day for her. Coming back to the green flag next time by, due to a few scoring imperfections, the Speed Racing Series officials had to extend this caution period for a few more laps in order for them to get everybody in the right place for this restart, which means we'll just have an 11-lap dash to the checkers here at the Rock. Your top 5 from Sanford down to Catano, they all stayed out. Then 6th place Beholtz down to 9th place Roush, they pitted, while Ellison in 10th down to 16th place Shade Eves, they're the wave around cars. Pace car down pit road, buckle up folks, because it's going to be one epic dash to the finish. Sanford speeds away, here we go again, 11 more times around Rockingham. That Chevy Impala of Charles Sanford trying to get in the clear as quick as he can, but Harrison Riley's not going to let him get away so fast in that 12 car. The man who's led the most laps today, Riley, trying to back up his podium place finish and maybe get another one here today and maybe more, get on the top step of it. And back there I see their 3 wide, multiple rows deep. Jade Eves trying to shoot past everybody through the middle line. The 43 and Mixon way up high. Oh, he's going to touch the wall and even touch Luke Martin. But they're not wrecking. No one's getting sideways anywhere. That's good. Back up to the lead again. The 12 side by side with a 16. But he's got his teammate Zachary Bilson on the high side. That's not really where Bilson should be, in my opinion. He should be trying to attack Sanford and provide a chance for Riley to make the pass on him. And here comes that 0-3 of Beholtz on fresh tires. He's going to take a 3 wide past Gaetano and Riley. He could get a 2-for-1 right here. And out of turn 2, he's going to make it happen, but he's still got the 12 and the 13 to his outside. Or maybe that's a blessing. Maybe the inside line is all he needs. But that 16 is going to remain strong up on the top. The 13 still pushing him. Brickett checking the wall back there. What else is new? Keep in mind that 13 of Bilson running 2 laps down in the 18th position. So honestly, he should do the courteous thing by sliding up high and letting these leaders go by and fight for the win amongst themselves. Although I'm sure he's still determined to help out his teammate in the 12, and it doesn't look like Sanford's going to have any match for the tires that Jacob Beholtz has. Car 03 back to the lead at Rockingham, and behind him, here comes Turner in the 94. He's also surging forward. And check that out, that 94 X-Side car flying by that 16 with ease. Turner up into second. This could be the making of Lake Effect Autosport's best ever finish in SRS competition today. And it's now up to him to run down Beholtz. And Sanford is fading. You know that staying out was not the right call for his team to make, as well as the other people that stayed out with him too. Gaetano up in the 5th spot. Oh, smoke coming out of Bilson's car. Bilson's engine letting go with 5 to go. Oh, these guys better be careful. Bilson pulling on the apron. And thankfully, he's going to get out of the way. Oh, and the 83 of Eves. He's making up a bunch of positions with that development happening. A real shame that that's happened to Bilson. Back-to-back weeks, he's got to come down pit road with mechanical failures. But how about Shade Eves? Another first potential top 10 in the making for him. He's got over 3 more laps to hang on. But back to the top 2, the 03 and the 94, nose to tail. Turner breathing down Beholtz's neck. Both their teams got the lucky break they wished for when that yellow came out on lap 128. And look at that, they're long gone ahead of Sanford and Riley. It is a pure mano-a-mano battle between these 2 Western New York drivers. It'll just be a matter of which driver can get it done and which team can get it done. It is S3 Motorsports versus Lake Effect Autosport with 2 to go. If I was on Turner's team, I'd be telling him to maybe experiment with his lines a little. Maybe try run the outside line here through 3 and 4 and get a better run on Beholtz, but no, he chooses to remain in his tracks. Nonetheless, time is ticking down here at the Rock. Will it be Beholtz or Turner for the win? One more lap till we find out who it is. Neither one of these guys have ever been in this position before. A first win is on the line. We are guaranteed a new winner today. It's just going to depend on who wants it more badly. Beholtz leads Turner through 3 and 4. Turner doing his best to close in. He's trying to, but no. Beholtz is going to hold off Turner, and Jacob Beholtz will take home the win here at Rockingham Speedway. What a nail-biter. Jacob Beholtz, in just his 5th Speed Racing Series start, grabs the victory in today's race and gives S3 Motorsports their first checkered flag of Season 2. And the first win for the 03 team. They've been trying for a win for a long time, and now this victory is fully theirs. But fair play to Beholtz and his team for giving him the car with the right amount of good feeling that he wanted it to at the right time. Once fresh tires was put on that car, he knew he'd be hard to pass. And Turner would know that more than anybody. He tried with all his might to get up closely to Beholtz and maybe bump him and get him loose and maybe try and bump him out of the way so Turner would get on by. The victory may not have gone to him today, but I'm sure he'll still have a smile when he takes his helmet off and climbs out of his car. A well-deserved P2 effort by him and that Lake Effect Autosport bunch. And considering that 0-3 ride wasn't even Beholtz's 2 rounds ago, it was still being driven by Ryan Dagby. But of course, with Dagby's random exodus from the series, Beholtz stepped in, and just his second ever start in that car, he's going to get to go to victory lane. And this win, I guarantee you, is going to give that team a lot more confidence when we go to Talladega. I bet you they'll think they're going to go out and win that one too. Your top 10 here from Rockingham. Beholtz, your proud winner. Turner in second. Sanford settles for third, but in terms of the points chase, Sanford had a great day, and I imagine he will be your new point leader when we leave this place. Harrison Riley in fourth. Kyle Collins fifth for his first top 5 finish of the season. Sixth for Lucas Catano. Scott Roush, a winner last week, 7th this week. Lane Sanders, a solid P8 for him. 9th, pretty decent finish for Luke Martin as well. That's going to give him plenty of points. And Shade Eves, 10th for his first career top 10. A great outing for the Mississippi native. And with that, that's going to bring our coverage here from Rockingham to a close. Keep in mind, just 2 more races left in the season. We've got the finale in Atlanta, but before then, we're going to be going to good old Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama for some fast and hot superspeedway racing. So be sure and stay tuned for that race, because a big one may just happen. Here come your points and your race results for round number 14. One last congratulations to Jacob Beholtz on becoming the newest first-time series winner, and we'll catch you all at Dega.